Hello, RoahmMythril here once again, and it's time to start up our next project. It's time to play Imperishable Night, my personal favorite of the Touhou series of danmaku games. So if we stay here on the main title long enough, it'll kick us into an automatic demo, and we don't want that, so let's just go ahead and start this up. Now originally when I decided to do an LP of this, I was thinking of doing a hard mode 1 continue clear run, but yeah, that quickly proved beyond my abilities for now. I can always revisit this project later if I feel like trying again, but for now we're just going to do a normal run. That I'm pretty sure I can pull off. For the main body of this LP, we're going to be sticking with my personal favorite team, the visionary Scarlet Devil team, of Sakuya and Remilia. For extra footage later, I'll show what the other teams do, but for now, let's get right into this. Welcome to Stage 1, where the fireflies fly. So in this game you're actually playing as a team of 2 characters, one human and one yokai. The human for this team is Sakuya. The perfect elegant maid fires a spread shot of knives. The more of the red pickups you get, the more of a spread it'll have, and thus more screen coverage. Pretty handy. Remilia, on the other hand, when you summon the vampire, she leaves behind a set of familiars. They keep firing while she can fire elsewhere, thus you can attack 2 locations on the screen at once. Very handy. I find this to be probably the most fun team in the game to use. If you go up to the top of the screen and then switch to focus mode, that is, using your yokai character, you'll immediately draw in any power-ups on screen. Great way to quickly collect things. So the other major thing in this game is the time system. You might occasionally notice those purple stars being drawn toward my character. Those are time pickups. If you get enough of those to meet the stage's time requirement, in this case 2500, you'll get a bonus spell card to try your luck against at the end of the stage, as well as advancing time less between stages. That's more of a plot-relevant thing, and we'll get to that later. Sakuya, I didn't ask you to follow me. What are you saying? I worry about your safety. Moreover, what if the bug we saw earlier shows up again? Indeed, as they say, speak of the bug. Well, I showed up. Perhaps you'll hand over the lady of the mansion to me. Even if you show up, who would pity a bug that much? Don't they say that if you put enough bugs together, even they will have a small soul? 80% smaller, actually. Are you trying to intimidate me? No, we're trying to kill you. Well, at least they're upfront about it. Don't worry, I'm not interested in non-humans anyway. Her disinterest is just more reason to worry. If you were human, you'd at least be treated as food. She's the lady without mercy, after all. Aw. So yeah, the story of this game is pretty silly. But it's time for the first boss, Wriggle Nightbug. As the first stage boss, she isn't too terribly tricky to get past. Not much of a bullet spread, and she doesn't have too many attacks to use against you. Even on hard mode, I can usually get past Wriggle without losing a life or a bomb. So as far as time pickups, collecting them depends on which alignment you're closer to. The more time you spend fighting in one form or the other, the closer you get to that alignment. In human alignment, you basically get time pickups just by attacking the enemy. The more times you hit, the more time pickups you'll get. In yokai form, you get time pickups by grazing bullets, which means letting them pass a little closer than is comfortable. I find that easier to do against later bosses. Wriggle here, she just doesn't really fire enough bullets to get much of a graze bonus. We're getting pretty close anyway. During a spell card like this, if you can get through it without losing a life or using a bomb, you get bonus points. And the higher a score you get, the more likely you are to get extra lives, so definitely worth going for it. But if things just seem a little too dangerous, don't hesitate to use a bomb. Always better to lose a bomb than a life. And we've gotten enough time pickups to meet the requirement. Time for a secret card, Hidden Bug Hermit of an Endless Night. In these cards, you cannot use bombs. You have to get through them completely on your own skill. but if you manage it, you get a nice score bonus. I'm gonna switch to Remilia mainly for this one, because her slower speed is good for precision dodging. Sakuya is a bit too fast for her own good sometimes. That's how it is really with most of the teams. The human is generally faster than the yokai. And there we go, got it. Ah, the increase in fireflies lately makes everything so beautiful. Sakuya, that comment totally clashes with the situation. I changed the subject, lady. I only heard the second half. What were you trying to say? And thus we've reached the stage clear status screen to show us how our score was. As you can see from the time, it only advanced by half an hour. If you don't meet the time bonus requirement, it advances a full hour. The more time you have in the game, the better. It means more continues should you need them, and makes it a bit easier to reach the good ending. So yeah, with that we're going to take a quick refreshing pause here, let the footage compress, and I shall see you again in a moment with Stage 2. Okay, so before we get started here, one quick thing I forgot to mention about that bonus card at the end of the last stage. If you get one of those bonus cards going, there is no penalty for losing it. If you get hit, you do not lose a life. It's strictly for bonus points. So anyway, time for the next stage. Stage 2, the path where humans vanish. So, let's get right into this. We've got the basic idea now. I'm getting pretty close to max power. There's only so strong your attack can get. Once it gets to that point, you get max power mode. As soon as that activates, any shots currently on screen are converted into point pickups that automatically draw toward you. Oh, and there's another kind of power-up. The green pickup is an extra bomb. Very useful, that. Another thing we're going to see more of from here on out are enemies with familiars. That's those weird little comet things they fire out. Familiars fire extra shots at you. How you deal with them also depends on which character you're playing as. In human mode, you can actually attack the familiars to get rid of them, and thus have fewer shots coming at you. However, it does come with the slight penalty of pushing you more toward yokai mode. In yokai mode, you cannot even see the familiars. You can't attack them, nor can the familiars themselves hit you, but their shots still can. The yokai thus can basically immediately attack whatever's controlling the familiars to get rid of them faster. And that's generally what I like to do, is go into yokai mode real quick to get rid of them faster. Yeah, things are getting a little more chaotic. But we've reached the mid-boss of the stage. For most stages, the mid-boss and the final boss are the same. There are a few exceptions, though, but even as a mid-boss, this one's already resorting to using spell cards. This one isn't too bad to get around, but definitely keep your wits about you. Wait! We're in a hurry. I'll listen if you follow us. So you won't stop even if I ask? A human and a bat? That's an unusual pair. Humans are what I'm after, though, not bats. Is it the brat's night out? But of course, well-behaved children sleep during the day. The night is for manhunting. Too bad we're in a hurry, so mind getting shot down right now? Didn't I say to wait? My lady, we shouldn't stoop to this thing's level. There isn't time. True. Don't joke around. Aren't you scared by birds flying in the night? You mean fried chicken? I prefer human. What does she mean? My lady, she said fly, not fry. Whatever. I'll show you the true terror of darkness. Terror of darkness, So it's time for the second boss, Mystia Lorelei, the Night Sparrow. Her shot patterns are definitely trickier than Wriggle's, but still doable. If you keep calm, you shouldn't have too much trouble in this one. Of course, she does have special powers that'll come to light later. You might hear that chime in the background, that means the card is about to time out. I forget if a timeout actually counts as a win in your favor, but either way, it is another way to get through an attack if it's just too tricky for you to get shots against the enemy. Or certain enemies that are actually invincible to your shots, timing them out is the only way to win. Then it just becomes an endurance match. She's still relying on normal danmaku patterns. She hasn't kicked in her special ability yet. Mystia definitely likes to summon familiars. She uses quite a few of them. And now she's kicking in her special ability, Night Blankness. You can barely see much beyond where your character's located. An interesting gimmick, but unfortunately for Mystia, it kinda works against her because it basically serves as a forced tutorial on how to really play one of these games. Generally, you're supposed to keep a closer eye on your character than the enemy, to help you dodge bullets. So this basically forces you to play the game the way you're generally supposed to play a danmaku game. Definitely quite a crowd of shots, though. Okay, and that was a desperation bomb. Now Sakuya, to fry that bird or go on ahead, which shall we do? Let's ignore that small fry and get back to work. The night is short. By the way, why are we headed this way? Refueling. Okay, so a few things to cover here. First off, notice that time did advance a full hour. That's because I didn't quite meet the time requirement for this stage. Oh well, can't win 'em all. Also, that thing at the end there was a desperation bomb. When you get hit by a bullet, you have a brief window of opportunity to quickly use a bomb to save yourself. Now, if you do this, it actually costs 2 bombs to use it, but again, better to lose 2 bombs than a full life. So, if you have that opportunity, do it. It's actually a bit easier to pull off during a spell card because you've got this window of opportunity where the screen goes red and really warns you. You can do it outside of spell cards, but it's a bit trickier to pull off. Your reflexes really have to be there. So anyway, we've gotten through stage 2, so a quick refreshing pause and back with stage 3.